All right, it's fucking championship weekend. Who would have believed it? All this time, we've been playing a bunch of fucking fantasy football, and here we are, something like 15 weeks later, and we have a championship game. But first, we had some playoffs. Playoffs? So let's kick it and start right in with the games. The first one, we had our favorite serviceman, Chase Burdick, defeating our favorite midget. In case you guys don't know, Sharp's like 5'1". He might even be 5 even. The guy's tiny. But Burdick beats up Sharp pretty badly, 128 to 104. Sharp had some bad luck. Rodgers wasn't back. Made some poor roster choices, and just his team kind of fell apart towards the end of the season there. And this week it really kind of just kind of fell on him. He had 5 players in single digits. And you only had 3 players that scored over 15 points the whole game. So it was just always going to be a dud from the get-go. I think he kind of knew it. He texted me halfway through and was just like, this shit's not working. Had he started Alex Smith and Brian Hartline, he would have finished with 123 points, assuming that he would have swapped out the quarterback and the lowest receiver available, which wouldn't have won him the game, but at least would have made it a little closer and might have gotten him a chance. But as it was, 104 points, that's not going to cut it at this level, buddy. And Burdick, this was a week. Team gelled relatively nicely. Again, though, still kind of hot and cold like your team has been all season, but it's working for you. You had over 20 points from 3 different players. So you had 3 different players score 20 or more points. And you had 3 players, or you had 27 points from 4 players combined. So if you took those 4 players, add them together, that's 27 points. So, again, hot and cold because you had some monster players and some real shitbox players. But it earned you 128, enough to squeak you into the championship game, buddy. And let's head on over to the big one, the one that we thought was going to be a lot more competitive, but didn't quite work out that way. Big Tom gets the win over the Italian Stallion, 147 to 105. Ant started off strong. He was a little nervous, had to make some adjustments with his roster. But his running back held out for him. He got 27 points from 5 players, though. So if you took 5 players, add them together, you got 27 points. Drew Brees had a low game with 23 points. His team just kind of collapsed at the worst time. They choked. They Tony Romo'd the shit out of this game. And so Ant only summed up 105 points. Would have beaten Sharp, though, so there's that. And Tom just had another crazy game. Had 37 points from Nick Foles, which is crazy because it was in a loss, but somehow the fucker did it. 37 points from Nick Foles, and then 59 points from Jamal Charles. 59. 59. 59 from one player. I mean, that's going to win you every fucking game ever. And so, Tom, I mean, made some great choices across the season, but also has had some of the better luck across the league. I mean, those 2 players saved this game for him. He had 5 players combined for 22 points. He had 1 player for like -5. So he had a pretty shitty day. And I know he was nervous at one point because when Ant started talking shit, he admitted it. But Ant talking shit kind of reversed and then flipped Tom's luck around. So, lesson of the story, kids, don't talk shit. Unless you're Tom, because that seems to work for him. I don't get it. I say one thing and everything collapses. My teams always fall apart. Even if I make a friendly bet, my teams lose. Tom, he can talk shit all day and everybody wins. So, I don't know. Maybe there's no rhyme or reason. Maybe it's all fucking chaos. But in case you missed it, 59! 59 points from Jamal Charles. And that was pretty much all she wrote. I kind of feel bad for Ant on a certain level. Clearly had the most dominant team all season. And then right before the big playoff game, he loses Wes Welker, his best receiver, and Adrian Peterson, his best running back, and two of the best fantasy players all year, totally honest. And so it's hard not to think it might have been a little closer or maybe even a totally different game had Jamal Charles not gone completely insane and had Ant had Wes Welker and Adrian Peterson. But as it is, Tom gets the big win, 147 to 105. which sets up our matchup for Big Dick Bowl 3. It features Tommy Gregg, the reigning Big Dick Bowl champion, and our rookie, Seaman Burdick, which is pretty incredible. We have a champion and a rookie. You don't write it like that. It's kind of a Cinderella story. Chase has really had a great season. Would love to see him have a good time in the game. Would like to see him make a good showing of it. Because don't forget, gentlemen, you're fighting for that. The one and only 100% holy cannoli Latero trophy. And there's only one of them bad boys with the giant fucking cannoli on top. So assemble your troops and get shit ready for war. This is the last game of the season. Don't leave anything out there. One game. As of right now, Tom is a 23-point favorite. Honestly, Bird, it's hard to see Tom not winning it at this point. He's got a good team. But hell, looks like the Dolphins might make the playoffs, so anything can happen, right? But I'm weighing in. I think my official prediction will be Tom will beat Chase pretty handedly, probably by at least 30 points. And we all get to live with another year of hearing Tom talk a ton of shit and complain. So, go us, right? Everything's normal in the world again. Anyway, I'm just playing, bros. I think it's going to be a good time, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see who comes out with this. Both teams, I think, are pretty solid, but again, picking my Tom. And anyway, fuck everybody else, right? Because we all suck. Fucking 10 guys. Only 2 of them can make the championship game. It's none of the rest of us. So good for you 2 assholes. And the rest of us will sit around masturbating, looking at your scores, wishing it was us. Sorry, it's just true.